This is Jason Clark from Clark Custom Knives hybrid drop point. This knife has Magna Cut for steel. The bolsters are burlap micarta and the scales are butterscotch micarta. And yeah, overall, as you can see, it's a very beautiful knife. I've had this in my collection for a little while now, and I was very smitten by this design. For those of you who don't know who Jason Clark is, he's a custom knife maker out of Florida, and he does not use any sort of CNC machinery. So this is all done by hand. The blade, I'll try to get the lighting right here, is a hand rubbed satin, and it's gorgeous. It really shows through here. He did an excellent job just all around on this knife. You can see the kind of the fit and finish between the, let's see if we can get this guy in focus here. The fit and finish between the scales and then the liners is excellent. You know, you might even think a machine helped him along with this. It's got a floating backspacer, and then the pocket clip has a great ramp here, and it fits in the pocket great. Deep pocket carry. And I've been carrying this quite a bit, and it kind of just hides in your pocket. You know, you don't really know it's there. It's not too light, not too heavy. Early lockup, we're sitting, you know, maybe about 20%. The action on it, zoom out here, is excellent. You know, it's kind of a shakedown. Makes a nice sound when you close it or open it. And the detent kind of just sucks it right back in. So pop, and then it goes. But I love the scales on this and the bolster. Kind of has an old world vibe to it to me. I don't know. I just feel like it's something maybe you'd find in out on the field in World War II or something like that. As far as the aesthetics go. Inside here, let's see if I can zoom in. He kind of does stuff inside the scales. Come on, come on. Let's see. There we go. Kind of, sort of, not really. Finally, there you go. IKBS, Magna Cut, 60 RC, your rock hardness there. And then right there, you've got O'Brien, Florida, Clark Custom Knives. Very, very nicely done. I love it when they put stuff inside the scales. You know, it's just kind of a nice touch. Grip in the hand is great. You can feel the pocket clip, you know, ever so slightly. It's not bad, but it's there. Some pocket clips, they do it in such a way where when you grip the knife, it kind of just melts into your, you know, the palm of your hand. This isn't one of those. But here again, I'm just being picky. I don't think it's anything that anyone would really notice. In real use, I think you could grip on, you know, death grip it pretty much, and, you know, it'd be a comfortable hold. No jimping on the back of the blade here. And I think I think it would have been nice actually on this one. Some knives, with the way the ramp, the spine of the blade is, or the way in conjunction with the way you grip it with your thumb, jimping isn't always necessary. And sometimes it's even preferred that it's just not even there. In this case, because there's no swoop up or anything like that for your thumb to kind of stop and rest on. I could see where maybe you grip it and you kind of come forward like that in use. And so some sort of light jimping would have been nice, in my opinion. Maybe even something that would match up like this. Very beautifully done on the flipper tab. And I think having that on the back, I'm trying to decide in my head here, would that be too aggressive? I don't think it would be. This is pretty fine. And I think if you did that back here, aesthetically, it wouldn't take anything away from the knife. But it would add to the grit. The lock side, in this particular case, given its liner lock, looks a lot like the show side of the scale. The lines on it, in my opinion, are excellent. If you're familiar with Jason Clark's work, you'll know that some of his designs are a bit loud, especially with the blade shape, at least in my opinion. And therefore, not all of them speak to me. This one, when I saw it, this was a couple years ago I got this, I immediately said, you know what, I've always wanted to try Jason's work, and so I better jump on this because, he kind of makes knives one-off. Every single one of his knives is different from the previous or different from the next. So when you see one you like and it goes away, short of you getting a hold of Jason to have him make you one just like it or similar, you could wait forever before it would, end up on the secondary market for you to pick it up from whoever bought it. So when I saw this come up for sale from a dealer, I think it was Nashville Tactical Lounge, I immediately ordered it. Size-wise, it's 3.5 inches for the blade, 8.5 inches overall, and it weighs 3.86 ounces. So it's not a very heavy knife. For it being a 3.5-inch blade and, pretty long, it's lightweight. And it's as stated, earlier in the video, it kind of just melts right into your pocket. You don't really feel it, which I love. I hate having knives, where I constantly in the back of my head or whatever know it's there just because it's so heavy or it's so, bulky, things like that. In this case, you don't have that. Now, the screws he uses here, not sure what the size is, but they sit flush. Back here, these ones inset a little bit. You can see that. But here again, just look at the gapping, the spacing here, there just really isn't any. I mean, when I say there just really isn't any, there isn't any. It's done perfectly. And, I think it just represents an excellent value. The table price on this knife, according to my little card here that was probably sitting at the table at a show or whatever, was $850. I can't remember what I paid. I think it was a little less. And I think that represents a good value for a full custom knife, no CNC, low volume, made here in the United States, to the level of this detail. I've seen Max, machine assisted customs, and machine knives with less attention to detail and more flaws than this has. at a higher price. We're talking 1,000, to like $1,600. There's one in particular I paid $1,600 for, and its finishings were not nearly as nice as this. So for the price, I think you're getting a great knife. I'll pull out a Sebenza and a Strider PT for size comparison. So let's see here. Here is Chris Reeve. And here is the Strider. Put them butt to butt, or close enough anyway. So yeah, it gives you an idea. So full-size knife, very similar in size to the Chris Reeve, both in grip and blade. The belly here comes out a little bit more here on the Chris Reeve. And then the Strider PT obviously, is a much smaller knife. But yeah, it gives you an idea of sizing if you're curious about that. Let's see if there's anything else that everyone's familiar with. Oh, we'll pull out a McNeese. I'll take away the Strider. And I'll throw in here this McNeese Mac 2. So shorter blade on the McNeese and the grip shorter, but it gives you an idea. Compared to that, I think a lot of people are familiar with this knife. And then let's see what else. That might be it. Take away the Chris Reeve. Yeah, I think that that gives you an idea there. Everything else I've got here is relatively uncommon, so people may not be quite familiar with it in hand anyway. So I think everyone's got a Chris Reeve or probably handled one or seen enough videos. Let's see. Try to give you guys just a good look here at the fit and finish. Just everything matches up perfectly. Not really any relief here, to get to the lock bar, but you don't need it. It's very easily accessible, especially with the kind of the jimping or the milling right there, the texture. You did a great job there. So it's very easy to actuate. No lock stick or anything like that, and perfect lockup, side to side or up and down. But yeah, definitely a maker to check out if you haven't checked them out already. 2 thumbs up. Great value for what you get, and just a solid maker all around. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Take care.